Hello guys, welcome to the third video of this tutorial. So today, as we stated on the previous video when we were adding pages as well as the plot frames that belong to those specific kinds of pages, today we're just going to be starting the drawings. And with the drawings, we first of all need to add the miscellaneous devices that we're going to be using, and these are the thermomagnetic circuit breaker and for the main supply, as well as the ammeter, the voltmeter, and the isolation transformer that is going to power our control circuit. So without further ado, I just want to go on further to the drawing. So here on our interface, to add elements to our project, we have to use insert, okay, and symbols is where we get our terminals, our protection devices, and all the nitty-gritties that are going to be contained in our project. So here I just need to select some terminals first of all, and there's a pop-up that's going to come that shows the group of the terminals that we have. So click OK. So this is the group. So that's the first terminal, the second, but it's under the same group, and the third. So this is for the three-phase, line 1, line 2, and line 3, and the fourth one for the protection earth. I just want you to take notice of how all my terminals are evenly spaced. This is very important because when you're going to be adding devices on top of this line, it needs to be even, because that is how the protection devices or the other devices are designed. Alright, so after having added the terminals, we're just going to add some angle down connectors so that we can complete the connection of our cables. Okay, so here I just dragged and I just click and dragged, and it automatically connects. All right, so this is our line 1, line 2, line 3. I'm not including anything right now for the protection earth because we're going to be drawing it from the bottom of the page here. So now we have to get an interruption point, and this is going to be line 1. Okay, so you have to write line 1. This is L2. This is the second phase, and this is the third phase in our connections. Alright, so since this is done, we're going to be adding our protection devices on top of this on top of this line. So first of all, let me just add a protection earth line so that we don't have to be doing the same things over and over again. Okay, protection earth, and that's it. For the sake of clarity, I'm just going to add a cable definition so that our protection earth cable looks different from other cables. So we go to the connection graphics, select a dotted line, give it a yellow color. Alright, apply, and voila. Okay, so after the connections, you realize that the color is going to change. So now what we need to do is add the protection device. So we're just going to insert again, symbol, come under protection devices, and we're going to select an MCB with both thermal and short circuit protection, overload and short circuit protection, 3-pole. Alright, and here it is. As I was saying, you just have to mind the spacing of your terminals, because if I hadn't gotten this correctly, they wouldn't have been aligned, so you need to align them. Okay, and here I'm just going to call this Q1. and press V. Just position that right. As you can see here, it's overlapping into the margin of the page, so we want to move it a little bit to the right. So you drag, you click V, and you just click on the arrows. Now we have a very good spacing between the border of the page and our elements. All right, the next stage is I'm going to add some ammeter and voltmeter, and because we don't have like a 3-line representation of the ammeter and voltmeter, I've created some macros that we can use here, and you just type voltmeter, and I'm just going to position it somewhere here. Okay, just number that, do not modify. I'm also going to add another one, an ammeter, and I'm just going to put it here. Do not number it. Okay, so now we have our ammeter and voltmeter. Okay, so we know that, you know, in medium voltage or sometimes some low voltage applications, we do not connect the ammeter directly to the line, so we have to use a current transformer to, you know, step down the current. So we're just going to select some current transformers from our symbols. So here we have transformer, and this is a current transformer. So we need one for each phase. All right, that's the first one. That's T1. That's T2. And that's T3. And now, to make the necessary connections, as you can see, I have L1K, L1L. So these are the different terminals. So this is L, this is K. So I'm just going to make the necessary connections by just taking these terminals here, add. All right. So what I'm doing, I'm just making sure that we can get a connection all the way to this side. And for the first one, our connection is done. For the second one, done. And for the third one, voila, it's finished. So we have our terminals, our power terminals connected. And for the voltmeter, we know that we can get the readings directly from, because it's a low voltage application, we can read straight from the line. So I'm just going to add like a branching out terminal connection. All right, and L, this is the first one, phase 2, phase 3. Okay, and now the only thing that's left are the live, neutral, and the protection earth terminals. So for our voltmeter, we have the protection earth. That's good. So as I said, because I added some cable definition here, you can see that the color of the protection earth cable has changed because there's a complete connection. I'm also going to do the same for the protection earth of the current transformer, of the ammeter. So here we have something like this. Okay, and that's the first stage. So here there's a cable definition along this line that I put. I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to paste it on this side so that we have a uniform design of the protection line. So the next stage is we need a live and a neutral connection. So how do we get this? So usually in industrial automation we use isolation transformers. So let's just get an isolation transformer. which is a 2-pole transformer, single phase transformer. All right, T4. Just take from phase 1 and phase 2. Okay, so now we have just made the necessary connections. All right, just make it look neat. So I'm just going to call this the live. Okay, 220. This is going to be 220 volts, as well as the neutral for the 220 volts. Let's call that neutral. All right, so we can take from this connection, we can connect to our ammeter and voltmeter. So that's what we're just going to do. I'm going to copy it and paste it somewhere here. All right, and here we go. So just get them close a little bit. Properties. So as you can see, this text, it says in the front. So here, because we want to draw a line towards this direction, we have to get this text behind this this symbol. So in the properties, we can use variant E, which puts them behind. So that's done. Now to make the final connections, the live, here you go, and the neutral, here you go. But for the neutral, we also want to make the connection to the voltmeter. So we're just gonna extend that a little bit and then bring it down all the way here. Okay, so this is done. All right, so that is the first stage of putting our miscellaneous devices. So on the next video, I'll be explaining further into putting some protection devices and so forth. But for now, this is enough. So see you on the next video.